Um, Good evening, good afternoon, good night, whatever. You guys know for my faithful subscribers, I've never let you down. Knock on wood. I've always told you guys how to stay healthy up here and how to stay free of the drama. So I feel like I'm responsible for the people that are still alive, right? And that's a big speech right there because people are dying, and the people that are dying because certain people want those people to die. That's why those people are dying, because people are killing those people. And then there's people out here that really want to see people survive. There's people out here that really want to see people live, okay? And so when you're one of those people and you know that your country is going through a change because of a virus and a lot of other things and distractions and drama, confusion, and things like that. What you need is somebody who can have a futuristic plan for you so that you can know what's to come and what they're planning. So now they're saying that they're going to try to do something to your ecosystem. They're going to try to do something to your phones. We don't know who they are, but they are out there, and we need to break down who they are that are attacking whoever. Okay, so if you really think about this, when you've ever been, happy in a relationship or whatever part of stages of life you were at, some people were cool and some people were not. And you have this conscious thing that's like, she didn't act like that, but that person did, right? But because you have people in higher ranks that care about your mind, your body, and your spirit, there are people that actually care about other people. And there are people that want to see people be healthy. And there are people that have how could I say this? They have higher demands and higher qualities, and they feel like they deserve the best steak and eggs there is. And you have people that feel, I deserve the best leather furniture. I deserve the best gold. I deserve the... So when does enough be enough? When bad people start recognizing that they've done something to hurt others, that's when you'll see a change. When good people who, this person could be a pastor, a teacher, or whatever. So because they have that type of job where they're representing someone that is supposed to be powerful, you assume that the person is a good person. But sometimes bad people, right, they go under camouflage as other people and things to take out certain plans and to pursue goals and to do things. I have a lot of different terminology for things. I can have 5 different words representing one thing. And so because my mind is like that, I want you guys to keep focused with me because I don't want to get you lost. But where I'm going with this is that people who have the ability to tap into thoughts and to focus on their third eye are the same people who predicted the future. They are the same people that wrote the Bible. They are the same people that wrote books, period. People that see the future are the people who predict how you are going to be this many years from there. And they put in motion things that they want to see in the future So people who have powers, whether they're your race or another race, right? Because as a human race, we are the dumbest race because we don't know about the other 350 other fucking races that were out there. There's other creatures like bears and lions and butterflies and bees and tigers and bears. Do you understand that God wanted you to know the reason you have animals and the reason you are a human is because you have other people that sort of look like you that used to be here, but because you serve a God, God said, I want only you. This is why I'm making this video. I want people that look like you to rule this earth because that's all you see right now is people that look like you, right? Ruling this earth. Anybody else that looks any other kind of way other than you that is ruling this earth or trying to rule this earth is not of God. Now, where am I going with this? Okay, people don't understand that the way you have good is appreciation. Good is hard work. Good is holiness. Good is love. Good is birth. Good is renewal. Good birth. It's everything that you can want. However, if you have a different mind frame and your mind frame is negative versus a positive mind frame. A negative mind frame is a person that is like, you're trying to go out here and do evil because you feed off of the repercussions of the pain that you are inflicting upon other people. So you have people who they get real full inside their stomach. They feel really good when they piss you off. And you have people that they live their whole life just to go out here and do things to steal your energy. You overstand? It's a mental, it's a physical, it's a spiritual war. So in order to win the war, technically, what you technically have to do is look at every race and what every race needs and tell that race at this point, we understand what your need is. You don't have to do this to get that. What you need to do is focus on this and let the other races focus on them. Because the black people are keeping their own population down. And we don't appreciate when other people come in, when we have plenty of trees, plenty of bees, and plenty of oxygen, and plenty of stuff, and you move in, right, when you already messed Mars up, and you know who I'm talking about. You know who I'm talking about. You move in, right, because you're thirsty, you probably needed some water. I don't know. And so you move in the black woman's, again, the womb of the black woman, the water that the black woman need to grow the baby. Okay, I'm trying to give you guys because they say Earth is just a rock. Earth is a living thing, and if everybody die, Earth, if she still have the sun and she still have oxygen and animals, she will still be here without humans. Don't ever get it twisted. Okay, so let's move on. So Earth is a living thing. It's a vessel, and if you hurt it, it can die, and it can freeze, and it can burn because it's no longer what? Alive. So I'm trying to give people a different mindset, and the fact that I'm trying to give you a bigger mindset because the earth and your body are the same and they work the same when you are African American. So when people talk about YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and all of these things, what they're really talking about is the knowledge that the African American is giving to all these other races so that we can teach you guys. the earth, right? These wars, right? The fighting, right? Let's break this down. You come from a country, and sometimes you have news articles where 50 people have been shot, 20 people have been shot in your country, here, there. And you have stories where viruses, hundreds of people break out. Your country is always going through hectic stuff. All the time. It's always 9/11. Thousands of people died. I think that's what they said. Very traumatizing. And it's like we just went through that, and here's something else. Okay? So for those who, they have this thing called woke, or, where you realize that you have powers to be able to know that there's enemies out here and they don't like you because you are special, because they feel like they have to compete and they have to fight and they have to battle you, right? And what you're telling them is, I go through this every day in my neighborhood. People attack me every day. So I don't need you doing it, because people are already out here trying to run my children over in my parking lot. People selling drugs. People are out here doing the worst thing that you can ever imagine. You're absolutely right. And you have no idea what these people are going through in these little communities that you gave them, because you wanted to have a whole castle for yourself, because you did not accept the fact that as a race of people, we came from castles. We came from gold, and you didn't accept it. So now we have a whole history that has been transformed and lied, and now everybody is finding out that you're not just a servant. You're not just a servant that is supposed to work for somebody for the rest of your life. You are a what? A child of what? God, the Most High, right? So because you are the child of the Most High, which means He is the ruler of everything, you will not fail, because your God has made a pact with you, right? Okay? And everything He said has came true, right? Stop allowing YouTube people to take your energy, because that's what they're doing. And when somebody makes a YouTube video, that person can be on the good side or the bad side, but the information that they're teaching you can either be taking your energy or lifting your energy. You're not on YouTube, right? Or Google or none of that to play any games. You're on this to find the truth, right? So right now, because of COVID and everything that's going on, right? COVID means anybody that tests positive is suspect, because kids have been going missing. Organs, things, stories have been coming out, right? People as civilians have the right to have the same knowledge as everybody else. Because the internet is the internet. The internet makes mistakes sometimes. And they forget they are the internet, and they are able to submit so much stuff, and they haven't learned how to properly use it, right? So because they don't know how to properly use it, right, they want to destroy your anatomy. They want to go in here for the umpteenth time and tamper with this. Why do you think COVID, and why do you think people like myself have been trying so hard to give people a different way of thinking? Overstand this. If you really wanted to help the world right now, you would just grow the trees back that you burnt. You burnt a couple of trees. And if you wouldn't have burnt those trees, maybe we could have had a little bit of life left. So it's like, are you suicidal? Because you're burning trees, or whatever happened to the trees, or whatever happened to, I don't feel like the world was really trying to save the world, if that makes any sense. And what's sad is that people in power who actually can do something to save the earth are not doing it fast enough, right? Like they know that they have a magical spaceship that they can jump on and just go somewhere else and kill everybody here, right? What kind of people have that much power to destroy planet after planet and keep jumping into planets and planets? How do you know where the planet is at? How do you know to go there? And how do you know it's going to be ready for you when you get to there? I mean, that's what you have to figure out. Did they steal your DNA? Did they lie to you? Are you what they say is bad? Are you a reptilian? Are you a reptilian? You already have skin, scaly skin, you know, smooth like a snake. You know, you have fangs. Reptilians gave you about 15 to 20% of your DNA. So technically, you are a reptilian. When you're born, you look like a little what? A little worm. So I'm trying to think a little higher for people who are stealing all of my knowledge and they're making a lot of money. Anybody who gave you a little bit of help to grow you, and they're eating and they're doing, they know something because they were here around the same time your God who made everything was here. Understand that. So there was a partnership. You had a partnership at first because it's been hundreds of years and you guys have been getting along all this time, and all of a sudden there's something wrong with these different types of species. So what can we do, right, at this point to protect the minds and secure the future of the children? With everything that's going on, with all the individuals and all the little things that's going on, how can you guarantee a future at this point? So the positivity comes in. If we all at this point can accept the fact that people like me have a bigger goal, bring everybody together, plant some trees, try to grow the earth back. I'm fighting for the earth. I'm fighting for the children. I'm not fighting to be a pervert. I'm not fighting to be a rapist. I'm not fighting because I'm not none of those things. I'm not even a freaking politician. And I don't have to do the things that I'm doing to get people to see a bigger side of life. But I'm saying you're living on a planet that is a living thing, right? And this living thing has been introduced to a lot of things. If you take you away in the go-go music and you take away all the little things that you brought to the radio and the car, Earth was natural. And you took a natural thing and you abused it. You abused the earth. So now you're trying to replenish the earth, but what do you need? Oil comes from what? Dinosaur blood? So what are you trying to put humans back in the earth? I mean, I'm just saying. For people who jump on YouTube, listen to a video, and then they hear one thing you say because you're having a higher thought that's coming from a higher base coming to you, right? Which means you are powerful because you can change the world and how the world is thinking, right? But people like to take your credit. That's okay. Take the credit, because that means we're all waking up at the same time, which is what God wanted us to do. But this is where the video gets pretty critical. The video gets critical because if you think you're going to overtake the human mind, what God is going to do, he's going to come back again and he's going to take everybody out of here. And this is probably the last video I ever make. This is probably the last video I ever make, guy. Because the Lord said, you love your enemies even though they know, your enemies don't know what they doing. So in other words, God is telling you, people are just doing stuff. They don't care. They're nasty. They just don't care. They don't know the wrath that is coming here. Do you understand? Do you understand the wrath of God? Because you're sinning. And you know you're sinning. And God said, those who know they're sinning and you continue to do it, even though you know you're supposed to ask me for forgiveness. It's certain stages of this that you know you wasn't supposed to do, but you don't care anymore. So God is saying, neither do I. Whatever happens to you, right, because you're not following my word, happens to you, okay? And for my children, you can't feel bad because you're safe and sound. Amen. And this is a testimony. This is true because I'm here as a testimony, as a Christian in Yahusha, Mashiach, Jesus Christ, Yahusha, Hiru, so many different names. Okay? And that's how you know I'm telling the truth, because they gave Christ the Savior many names. But when you speak those names, you have eternal peace. Eternal means safe. You want to be what? Safe. How are you going to be safe? You got to be saved by what? God's child. Right? Okay. Okay. So now, where am I going with this? Where am I going with this is that when somebody wants to take all the credit for something and say it's all me, if you're not a God, you cannot take credit for nothing because you are not a God. Only God can take credit for everything. Only God can take credit for everything because God gave birth to man, the female. She pushes man out. For men saying that Mother Earth is not a Mother Earth, and then the sun penetrates on the earth, and then seeds and other things come here every time. Every time. Earth, 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 her, earth is a woman. Overstand. And she's a different type of species than the human race. As a human race, you have to understand how Earth formed and how the sun formed before you were born, so that you know where you're going. So that you know how, you know what I'm saying? So what I'm telling people is just tap into the Lord, Mother Nature, and everything like that, because the reason I'm happy is because I've accepted who I am. You have to accept who you are in order to be happy. You have to accept who you are. Second of all, you have to be fair, because you can't go out here and hurt other people. Period. Sharks, alligators, they're in the water. You know, they have their fights, whatever, and, you know, they do what they do in the water. Humans up here, we have our fights, we do what we do up here. The birds, and, you know, animal instinct. You know, fair, you know. So with that being said, basically I believe that when you hear people talking about tampering with your brain, and when you hear things about how bad science and technology has tampered with the human brain. Like I said, one video, this is the part right here that's just, and this part of your brain is critical because everything is connected to it, you know? So people tired, everybody looks like this. And this is what they said we were going to look like. They said we were going to look like this. Why would somebody want us to look like this? As humans. Because what? If they don't get enough something, they look like this. Well, don't you have labs? Don't you have stuff? I mean, I'm just trying to figure this all out. So with that being said, right, you have citizens waking up, voting, and you have people like myself who have a higher frequency than a lot of people. And a lot of people are targeting these people who have these higher frequencies because they're not picking it up fast enough. They're not picking it up fast enough. Okay? The reason they're not picking up fast enough is because you're committing evil. And you're sinning, and everybody's not sinning. So for people who are not sinning, they're getting blessed by the higher power, right? And anything less than the higher power is down there. And no weapon formed against God, right, shall prosper. And that's what I wanted to say about all the negative freaking internet stuff about what they think they're getting ready to do. God is already taking control. God is already proving that technology can't beat God. Technology cannot beat God. Before there was technology, there was God. Let's just look at it like that. Right? So when it comes to the thoughts, and when it comes to the updating, and when it comes to all of that, God controls all of that. Who's trying to control God? That's the next question, because if God controls everything, eventually someone's going to come and trying to control what? God. Why would someone want to control God? So they can control the weather, the people, the world, and everything, because God controls everything. And God wants everything to run smoothly. But the enemy does not want things to run smoothly. And like I said, if you look at previous videos, I'm telling the truth, because God is love and peace and law and equality and justice and fairness. God is not nastiness, jealousy, enviness, hate, scary. That's not God. Okay? I'm telling the truth. And I thank you, Holiness Church, for always being there by my side to help my videos. I don't even need to get paid, because the Lord pays me with strength to wake up to tell these people that, hey, because the technology has taught you something, now they want to do something to stop you from learning. Why would you want people to be not learning anything? They just said they're going to stop people from writing stuff. They're stopping people from saying stuff they don't. This is stupid, if you ask me, But sometimes people that think they're smart, don't know they stupid. You understand? So what I think at this point needs to happen, I think that countries need to unite, not fight. But that'll never happen, because countries know that we live in a world where we cannot be overpopulated. And with that being said, anything goes after this. They have no, when it comes to saving the earth, people have no remorse. People have no care about what they're willing to do to keep the earth alive. So with that being said, your life was important and always will be and is important. But when you have a planet, right, that you need the planet to be more perfect than you. Because if the planet has one problem, then you have thousands of problems. If the planet has, so this election and everything is personal. Because global warming, animals and bees and things, and we're sitting at home locked down and we're hoping that this saves the earth. Literally. We're hoping that by not sending any cars on the road, gas emissions, that we can get a little snow and save the polar bears. We're trying to save the polar bears. I mean, it's really sad. And the thing is, not everybody really cares about the earth like I do. You know, I'm up here late at night, long hours, talking about the earth, 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 earth. Why would I be doing that? Because I can't fly anywhere. So I'm a regular person. When I see large forests of fires burning, it's a problem because how are we going to get that oxygen back? That's a lot of oxygen, right? From what you taught me in school. And now the clouds are hanging low and you need, I mean, people have to look at Earth as a living thing and stop looking at Earth as just a thing. And also people need to stop like attacking other people and then saying you're not racist because you just beat your baby mom in the face and punch your baby mom. And if a white cop punched your baby mother in the face, he's a racist. So what are you? They label domestic violence as just domestic violence. Domestic violence equals racism. Okay? Straight up, domestic violence, racism between black people. They're not getting along. And we don't want to publicize it because they were slaves and they worked for us and we transferred all that negative energy into them and their children. And we don't want to be responsible for it. We don't even want to pay them for the hurt that they feel by being over here in this country, knowing that their people went through this. We don't want to pay them for the sorrow and the pain and the agony from hanging and suffering and beating. We don't think they're worth anything for their hard work for helping us have all the churches, schools, and hospitals and roads that we have today. We don't even care that they fed our children and gave us everything. We wanted food as slaves. We don't care that they're still working today, technically as slaves, and they're not even getting enough money. We don't even care. This type of world that we live in where people really feel like you're supposed to work until you bleed and die. And they sit back and they do nothing. And they don't know what you go through. And they don't care. And it's sad. And with that being said, I just want to say everybody stay positive and stay focused, okay? And there are super women and superpowers and supermen out here that are thinking about you when you're not thinking about it. There's people fighting when you're not thinking about it. There's people saying, stop, don't do this. Let's talk about this. But we all have to do it. It can't be one person.